Greetings, my little yarnivores. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. I hope you're having a great day. And today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple beanie style hat with a ribbed brimming here. And so I'm going to show you some new techniques and reintroduce you to some old ones. And, this is a very, very simple, pretty quick pattern to follow. And I hope you like it. So for this pattern, you're going to need, of course, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and for this project, I'm using a size H crochet hook. Again, of course, it is according to your gauge, and some worsted weight yarn. I tend to use Red Heart Super Saver or the equivalent thereof because it's acrylic, machine washable, and I really like it. Alrighty. So what you're going to want to start to do actually is we're going to be working in increments of 12 stitches, okay? And so what you might want to do to start, just to see if what I'm doing in this pattern is going to actually fit your head, will be to do a slip knot and do chain stitches in increments of 12. Now, this pattern for this hat is going to be actually a total of 72 stitches around the circumference of the head when it's at its widest. So what you would want to do then is to chain, say, 72 stitches, and if that chain will wrap around the widest part of your head comfortably, then go with the 72 in the size H hook. If you're finding it's a little too tight, then go up a size. Or if it's a little too small, if it's a little too big with the H hook, then go down to a size G perhaps, or you can always increase or decrease a number of, 12 stitches. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be doing a total of 72 stitches. I'll show you. It's okay. We'll get there. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now we're not going to need a tremendous tail to start with. I mean, this is just going to be tidying up the top center. So we're going to start with our slip knot. And we're going to chain 4 stitches to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we do a slip knot into the first chain. We're going to create a ring like we do with the amigurumi tutorials because we're going to be crocheting in the round. Alrighty. And so we're going to be crocheting into this ring that we just created. So we start by chaining up 2. 1, 2. Now this does not count as your first double crochet, and I'll explain as we go. So what you do is now you do 12 double crochets into the center of this ring here, total of 12. And just remember that first 2 chains does not count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And of course, as always, I'm going to double count because it's best to find this out now than later. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then our chain 2. Okay, so then what you do is you're going to do a slip stitch, not into this first chain 2, but you're going to do a slip stitch into the top of your first actual double crochet. And the reason why is because there are a ton of patterns out there, okay, where you're supposed to start with a chain 3, and that chain 3 acts as your first double crochet. Well, you know what? It leaves a really unsightly gap right in there. And it's... it drives me crazy. However, if you do this trick, I will show you where the actual seam is on this hat, if I can find it. All right, see, actually here is where the seam is, you know, right in here. And you really can't see it because it's on the inside where the, see how it looks a little bit bunched? It's on the inside where those extra 2 chains gets pushed back. So you don't see it and you don't have to worry, and it will not look wonky, you know, which that's of course what we're going for. All right, so that is the end of round 1. Okay, and we'll go on to round 2. Okay, so now round 2, we start by chaining up 2. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into each stitch. So we're going from 12 to 24. So now we're going to be going in, get a little closer up here. All right, see, this is where the chain is, and we're going to be going into this very first double crochet stitch twice. So it looks like we have 3, but it's actually, it counts as 2, okay? So we've got 2 in the first, and then we're going to do 2 in each all the way around, and I will meet back up with you when I am approaching the end of the round, because I think you can do this. I know you can do this, but you know, I have total faith and confidence in your abilities because I know you are true yarnivores and that you can do this. It's just 2 into each stitch, all right? So I'll meet back up with you. All right, so I got 24 stitches around for my second round, and again, we don't want to we don't want to slip stitch into this chain 2. We want to go into this first double crochet here. See, right in there. We want to do a a slip stitch into that double crochet, connect it, and on to round 3. So again, we chain up 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into, again, that first stitch right in there. So we're going to do 2 double crochets, and then in the next one, we are going to do only 1 double crochet. And then we do 2. Oop. Yarn splitting, excuse me. All right, so we've got 2 in that one, and then 1 in the next. So you just keep alternating 2 in 1, then 1 in 1. See? All right, so do that all the way around, and you will have a total of 36 stitches at the end of the round. So I'm going to meet back up with you when I'm done with this round. Alrighty, so at the end of round 3, you should have 36 stitches around, and then we do a slip stitch into that first actual double crochet, finishing the round. See, nice and neat seam going on here. You would never know. All right, so that's the end of round 3. So for the round 4, chain up 2, and we do 2 double crochets into the first double crochet. Okay, and then we do 2 single double crochets, 1 in each stitch. And that's one sequence right there. And then so that's 2 in 1, and then 2 individual ones. So that's a total of 4 stitches. So then for the next 4 stitches, you do 2 into the same stitch. That's 2, and then 1 regular one. Oops. And then another regular double crochet. And a really great trick for remembering where you're at in the pattern is, so the first round you've got 12, right? And then in the second round, yeah, you're going up to 24. So it's, 1 in each. And then round 2, it's 2 in each. And then in round 3, it's going by increments of 3. This is round 4. Like I said, it's increments of 4. And we're going to go up to 6 rounds because 12 times 6 is 72. So, on the next round, it's going to be 2 in the first and then 3 regular ones. And then in the next round, it's 2 in the first and then 4 regular ones. So I mean, that's how it's going to grow. But, in this case, it's 2 in the first and then 2 regular ones. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. Alrighty. I'm just trying to make this easier for you because it can seem daunting. I know it will, if you're a beginner, and we've all been there, okay? So, we can do this. All right. All right. So at the end of round 4, you should have 48 stitches. And as per usual, we're going to be doing a slip stitch into that first double crochet stitch that we did. A slip stitch there. All right, and then we chain up 2 once more. And then for round 5, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So we got our 2 there. And then we do 3 regular run-of-the-mill double crochet stitches, which is 1 in each. And that is our repeat for this round. And, you might want to count your stitches at the end of every row, especially if this is your first time doing this sort of project. You want to catch your mistakes earlier than later. So it's 2 in the first, and then 3 regular ones. 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to meet back up with you when I finish this round. Alrighty. Okay, so at the end of round 5, you should have 60 stitches, and we're going to, again, slip stitch into that first double crochet. And we are going to chain up 2 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 in the first, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, Okay, and then we do 4 regular double crochet stitches because this is round 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, and oops, 4. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, because this is round 6. And then we do again 2 double crochets into that first stitch, and then 4 regular double crochet stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All right, so I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. Okay, so this is the final round of increasing, round 6. So, as always, we do our slip stitch into that first double crochet right in there. Pull that through. All right. And so that, as I said, is the final round in which you will actually be increasing. So from here on in, no more increasing. It's just a matter of doing a chain 2 at the beginning of the round and doing just 1 single crochet into that first stitch, and then just doing 1 stitch in each stitch all the way around. And then when you come full circle, you will do a slip stitch into that first actual double crochet stitch, chain up 2, etc., etc. Now, so we've done, as you can see, 6 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what you need to do now is we're going to do a total of 14 rounds, 14 completed rounds, and then we will get into this lovely ribbed brim, which is using the front and back post double crochet stitches. Not to worry, I will show you how to do it. And so I'm going to do the remaining rounds, off camera. And so when you reach the end of your round 14, come back and we will finish this. Okay. See you in a bit. Okay, so after a total of 14 rounds, comprising the body of the hat, we are finishing the last round right here. And as always, we're doing a slip stitch into that first double crochet. All right, now we're still doing the chaining up of 2, as always. All right, now this is where we start doing the ribbing, which is comprised of the the front and back post double crochet stitches. So it's very much like your typical double crochet stitch, except that instead of going into the top of the V's here, we're actually going around the post of the stitch. That's why it's called a front post double crochet stitch. And if we were to do a back post double crochet stitch, instead of going in through the front, we would be going in through the back and grabbing our yarn. So to do the ribbing, we do a front post, then a back post, front post, back post, etc. All right, so we start with doing a front post, double crochet, All right. And that makes it stand out in front. And then we do, in the next one, a back post. So we come in from the back, and we grab our yarn, pull it through. Now you have to give your hook a little bit of a twist so that you can keep your yarn on there. And then we finish up this double crochet. You see? And then we do another front post, grabbing the yarn, pull through, and then we go in through the back, pull the yarn through, pull through, a front post. And we're going to do this for the entire round. See, creates a bit of a ribbed effect. And then we do a back post. See, sometimes it does get caught, even for me, and just gotta finagle it a little bit. Then we do a front post. And remember, you're going around the posts, not into the actual stitches. Trying to get this so that you can see it as best as possible. Alrighty. And so you're going to do this for the entire round, and I'll meet back up with you when I'm done with this round. All right. Okay, so I have made my way around, and I've got a front post here, and then I'm going to go into my final back post double crochet stitch. Okay, and then again, we're going to be doing a slip stitch into the top of that front post double crochet stitch. All right. Ta-da! Okay, so then we're going to be doing another round of really exactly the same thing. So we chain up 2, and we're going to be doing front post, back post. Now this time, because the posts are more established, it should be a little bit easier for you because you know exactly where they are. So basically we're doing a front post, double crochet stitch, and then we have our back post. See, it's hidden back there, but and sometimes it helps if you turn your work. It's a little tricky with this camera angle, but see, I'm coming in from the back, and then I'm See, I'm grabbing the post back here, and I'm grabbing the yarn through. So I've still got my 3 loops on there, just like every other double crochet, and then boom. You see? And then another front post. And then a back post. Now, it does take practice. Don't expect perfection quite just yet, but if you practice it, you'll get there. So front and back. Now, of course, this is merely a suggestion. If you want to follow along and do this ribbed brimming, you can, of course, also do a couple of rounds of single crochet stitches just to give it a difference in the way it looks. Or, you could do, a slip stitch all the way around to finish it off. There are tons of different kinds of edgings that you can do. For the sake of this tutorial, I wanted to show you this because I think that this ribbed brimming really finishes it off, gives it a nice texture, and I rather like it. But, to each their own, This is my own, so, this is how I choose to do it. So going to continue around for the entire round, and I'll meet back up with you when I'm done, and then we can finish this. All right, be back in a bit. Okay, so I got my 2 rows. Now, of course, you can do more if you would like. You can do a whole bunch and then have the brim flip upwards, for extra thickness. It's totally up to you. Like I keep saying, this is just for the sake of this tutorial and, trying to make it nice and easy for you. So I'm on my last back post double crochet stitch, and this is just about done. I just need to do my last remaining slip stitch, and then we can cut our yarn. Ta-da! All right, so we then cut our yarn, pull that. Okay, now really it's just a matter of sewing in our ends. So we have this end here, which I will thread and then go through all of these stitches a couple of times and cinch it nice and tight. And then as for this one, I mean, it's really, it's not an exact science, nothing painful about it, really, I promise you. I mean, it's going to be on the inside of the hat, right? So it doesn't have to be quite perfect. Just you want it to be nice and secure. That's the real gist of it. So just go through a bunch of stitches, and I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, that you found it helpful. I really do enjoy these tutorials, and I hope that you find them interesting, perhaps even entertaining, don't know. But I cannot express to you how grateful and how thankful. By the way, yes, I'm going through these stitches now. I'm very grateful to all of you who have subscribed, who've been leaving comments. It means the world to me. It really does. And as I always say, it keeps me motivated to keep going and keep sharing with you what I have learned and little tricks of the trade. And I want to keep inspiring you because you guys inspire me to keep going. And as I always say, knowledge is power, but sharing is caring. And what I am going to do with this particular hat is I'm going to donate it. My local library is collecting hats and scarves and things for people who are in need, and I think it is totally worth it. And I hope that some of you will be inclined to do the same. See, I got that, and then I can just snip, snip. I hope that you share your work with others, whether it's as a gift for somebody you love or donating it to somebody who's really in need this year. And there you go. I mean, they're super quick, they're super easy, and as always, before I sign off, stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and keep stitching. This is Fiber Spider signing off for the evening, and I hope you have a great day, and until next time, keep doing your thing. You have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.